Hi everyone, I'm Mary Sia, and this is
Michelle Sia.
and today we are here with Dr. Pigza, a chemistry professor at the University of Southern Mississippi. She's also a recipient of the prestigious NSF Award, a career award. So Dr. Pigza, we're so honored to have you here today.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
So could you tell us a little bit about how you got started and how you went into STEM?
Yes, I was just mentioning I'm from Pennsylvania, so I went to school and undergraduate in Pennsylvania, and I always have been interested in STEM fields. I was a math major going into college, actually, and then just had a wonderful general chemistry professor, and then I stuck with it. You know, you're taking math, chem, physics as kind of a STEM major in general. And when I took organic chemistry, that's when I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. It's like every day you have homework, so one homework sounds better to do than others. And even though nothing has come easy to me, I feel like I enjoy organic chemistry, so I've stuck with it since then.
So you mentioned that you had a really good professor for chemistry, and that's what inspired you and motivated you to go into organic chemistry?
Yeah. Yes, my general chemistry professor originally was just really enthusiastic about teaching, and I enjoyed the subject, but then I had two good organic professors, not the same for organic 1 and 2, and I enjoyed both of them because I think also I enjoyed the subject. But who I had for organic chemistry 2 ended up being the person who was my thesis advisor. And kind of someone I could reach out to today, still sends Christmas card to me. So yeah, I feel like I'm very fortunate to have that.
So yeah, good role models and especially teachers are really important
Yes.
to deciding.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
So as a very successful woman figure in STEM, because you got the amazing career award, so how do you believe women in STEM can impact research and innovation?
I believe like everyone could come to the table equally and contribute. So probably the reason why maybe there's less women, there's not less women in undergraduate courses. I mean, I'm teaching just as many women in my chemistry courses as men, if not more. So at some point probably they quit progressing, and I don't know all the reasons, but you know, I just feel like being there and showing people that you can do it, and you know, talking with students and making sure they realize if they were unsure, like just power through, you know, follow what you enjoy.
So I'm a little curious about the career award. So did you do research and then got the award, or how did that all happen?
Yes, the career award specifically is for research and education, whereas a lot of the research grants you apply for just for your research focus. And then you may put some outreach section where you're going to do, say, chemistry demonstrations. But the career award specifically has a larger focus on the education portion, so that when you're writing the proposal, more pages are devoted to that than usual. My education portion of my proposal was specifically with community college students, because in this area, they don't have access to research. Whereas in New York, the community college students did research, so I wanted to make sure that they had those experiences here as well.
So I recognize that you also help with transfer student success, right?
Yeah, so I feel like in general, our transfer students make up a significant portion of our major, like maybe 40%, but they have longest time to graduate and less chance of graduating than the students who start here. And so some of the challenges are that they'll come in with 60 credits of courses, which is half of the 120 required, but they don't have many chemistry courses. They may just have general chemistry. So technically they're a freshman when they transfer. They may not have that preparation needed to adjust properly. So we started a course called CHE 308, which is kind of brings in all the junior level students so that we can help the transfer students form cohorts with the students who are here. And also we review principles from the first 2 years, and I talk about careers and whatnot in that course. So just to bring them all in together and make them feel part of USM.
So Like, as a professor here at USM, what do you do on a daily basis, like, other than teaching?
I know, I always wondered, what do professors do all day? Because our teaching load's lighter here. It's usually referred to as 2-1, meaning 2 classes in the fall, 1 in the spring, or 1 and 2. Sometimes 2-2. But like at the community college, I taught 4-4. So the focus here is to give you time for research. Okay, so we're given percentages that make up our job description. So I'm 50% research, so I should always be thinking about research half my time. The research takes up the most work. At least in chemistry, the students in my group are working directly under like my supervision, if that makes sense. So, and we're all contributing to the group's vision. So I have graduate students and undergraduate students, and I've had high school students as well in the summer. And so they're all on projects, and it's like part of a larger project. And so I have to teach them the skills in the lab to be able to do the reactions that we do, how to analyze the data you get, how to keep a notebook and all of that. And because that's too much on like one person, it's like a training structure. So you take time to train usually the grad students, and then the grad students train the undergraduates, and so on. And that makes up a lot of my day, and then, you know, preparing for lectures or grading, and then we have service. They call it like three like rungs of a stool, so research, teaching, and service. Service could be committee work, like where I serve on various committees within our department in chemistry, within our school, chemistry, math, and physics, and then at the larger university. Like one of the committees I'm on is called Undergraduate Council. So all things undergrad related come through there. Any new courses someone proposes have to come through various levels, and that's one of them. And then service as an advisor, that's a service role as well. So my day is split. I'm just like doing little things all day, like switching around with those, yeah.
So you do so many things. So how do you manage your time so well? Like, do you have any tips?
It's hard. I always feel guilty, to be honest. Like I'm not doing something as much as I should be. So now I have 2 small kids. My daughter's 2.5 and my son's 4. And so they obviously, once I'm done here, I used to be able to do work at home, but it's not like easy anymore or feasible. So here I'm like, you know, I try and focus my time better while I'm here. And then, you know, research is always something. There's never something not to do. Obviously, I agreed to interview with you, but I was here anyway today on break. So, because I was in the lab. I'll show you guys the lab so you can see it.
So you work on a lot of projects. What is the most interesting project that you've worked on?
Yeah, I was trained as a synthetic organic chemist, meaning like you should be able to draw any molecule. Like if you look on the back of a drug package and see what the active ingredient is, I should be able to make it in the lab. That's what an organic chemist can do. They can figure out all the steps to go from something maybe with 2 carbons into something with 15 carbons. And you know, you're converting to larger structure each time. So that was my training. Here, that takes a long time to do that many steps in the synthesis. So I develop like methods, reaction methods, where essentially find new ways to form bonds. So they allow you to form structures that maybe others have made, but no one's made it that way. They maybe disconnect this bond, and I'm disconnecting a different bond to make structures. And to do that, you create, I don't know if you're familiar with chirality or stereochemistry.
Yes,
Okay. So a lot of the pharmaceuticals you take don't have a lot of stereocenters, and so they are essentially, you don't have to worry about like chirality. But once there is a stereocenter, then you can have 2 enantiomers. And then beyond that, if you had more stereocenters, you have more enantiomer possibilities. And having just one makes it harder to make because you have to just make that one. You don't want a mixture. And so the routes that I work on are routes to make one enantiomer of a small molecule. And that small molecule is like a building block. And then someone else could find that and say, oh, I want to make this structure, and this is a nice building block. And then they use our method. I like that work better. It fits better with my group here. And then I guess what I'm most proud of is that we use these small organic molecules to introduce that chirality. Because otherwise, if you just do a reaction, you get no preference for one enantiomer over the other. And so we use these small little chiral organic molecules called organocatalysts. And so they catalyze the reaction, meaning that reaction wouldn't happen without the catalyst. So it brings the molecules together, and it brings them together selectively. I just think that's really cool. And we've expanded to add some computational chemistry where we try and model on a computer what we're seeing in the lab. So essentially these computational programs can calculate the energy of those interactions. And so you can see like why is one favored over another. It's got to have a higher energy is the reason. And so you're trying to figure out what it is so that you can avoid that in your reactions and get better selectivity.
So if you could see it beforehand, it would be
nice
to see it.
Yeah, and plus lab work takes, well, computational takes time too, but it's not, it could be time like you're at home, you could submit something because you're submitting to a supercomputer. We have a supercomputer on campus. And so it's doing the work. And so, you know, right now, if I'm in lab, I'm the one doing the work. So if I had the computer doing the work, you know, it could be doing it all day long. So the goal would be like to save some lab time on the computational side.
So the supercomputer that you talked about, it does all of this for you and like it gives out the results?
Yes, essentially what it does is it puts your molecules together. You give it a conformation of your molecules and you orient them all and then you submit it and then it moves maybe like it rotates one bond and then it sees if the energy goes up or down. If it goes up, it goes back to where it started and it rotates another bond and it's doing that over and over until it finds the lowest energy between those molecules.
Okay, so it basically does the lab work for you, so you don't have to do as much work.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the ideal. So we're far off from that, and often that takes like a collaboration because, like I said, I don't have that training. But it works well for students to have that project.
So you talk about in the lab and how you like try many things to get it to work. There will be challenges, right? Like,
oh gosh, yes.
Yeah.
I saw your one question was like, what challenges have you faced? I thought, oh gosh, well, we could pick from a hat. It's like all along, I would say, but that's science, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so part of science is not giving up. And so it is hard to give up. It's hard to know when to give up. And I don't mean on science completely, I mean on a project. It's very hard to not keep trying and trying. And you could spend an extra year trying when maybe the better choice would be like this project's not working, so let's switch gears. So those are the hardest things I find. Or if you can't get something to work, we read the literature, find ideas, go in the lab and try it, and it just takes time.
So I know you started doing STEM and became a chemistry professor because you liked it to begin with.
Yeah.
But there are other girls like us who, when we go into STEM, we know we like STEM, but we feel like deterred because of gender stereotypes, etc. So how would you encourage young girls like us to go and pursue STEM?
Well, I feel proud to be, I guess, a female in STEM. I'm the only like professor level in the department. So I would say when I walk in the room, that's automatically showing here's a role model for you. You know, I think students respond well to my teaching style. I'm not one of those sink or swim. I do a lot of aspects to help students. I record all my lectures and every lecture is posted. We work through lectures together. I'm not just like talking through PowerPoint slides. I'm handwriting with them, solving problems. I give them old exams and answer keys. I just feel like I'm giving you as much as I can, but the student got to put in the work too. Yeah. That's from the class side. From the research side, We don't have many students that seem like they want to go to graduate school. I don't know why. A lot of people want to go to med school and medical related fields, and I understand that. And so part of it makes me think, well, how would you even know you want to go to grad school if you don't even know what it's like? Or you don't know what it's like until you get to college, right? If you didn't know someone in college, you would have no clue other than medical school. You learn early, right? Doctors are always, and they're on TV and things like that. If you want to keep learning more, which you kind of have to in the STEM fields, right? Just stopping at undergrads, I don't think is enough. So you have to pursue some graduate degree, and you get paid. So, do you know that?
No.
Oh, okay. Yes, we pay you to go to grad school. You get the grad students have a stipend of $21,000 a year, and that's polymer science is like maybe $26,000. They pay even better. So you have no debt beyond your undergraduate, and it's not tons to live on, but any of the science fields, you get paid to go to graduate school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you get paid for higher education?
Yes, you get paid to get your PhD.
So after you did grad school, you became a professor, right?
After grad school, to be a professor at a research institution, you have to do postdoctoral work, and so that's usually 1 to 3 years in a field slightly adjacent to what you did. So I did a postdoc in marine natural products, like isolation and structure elucidation. So essentially the group went diving, and I wasn't part of that, and brought back the marine species, and then essentially in the lab we try and figure out what are the components in there that have biological activity. And then once you find those, what's the structure of those compounds? And then you publish that structure. So I did that for a year and a half before my first job.
So whether you do medical or being a professor, it takes a long time. It just depends on which one you want to do.
I agree. You gotta be curious about your discipline.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Pigza, for talking to us today. I've learned so much about organic chemistry and how it can be used. Thank you for talking to us.
Okay, appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching. And also, can we have a tour of your lab?
Yes, definitely.